Next, I'm going to list the comments. So for that, I'm going to define a new function that is show comments, which is an arrow function. I'm going to use the get docs function from the Firebase. So next, I'm going to give the async await, then try catch, console.error. Then I'm going to paste this get docs inside this try. Okay. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to define a new variable here, news doc. What I'm going to do is to copy and paste these two variables from here and to paste it here. You can see that. The next I'm going to copy this comment ref and to paste it as an argument to this get docs. Next I'm going to call this function inside the use effect hook as like this way. Okay, fine. So after that, I'm going to do is to assign this into a variable data, and I'm going to log that data in the console. So now you can see that I'm going to take the console. Here you can see the query snapshot, which contains the docs, but that is not in the form. We can use it directly. So I'm going to define a new variable that is filter data, and I'm going to map through this data.docs, and I'm going to call the data function on each doc. I'm going to take each document as doc, and I'm going to call this data function, and next I'm going to pass the ID also. Then after that I'm going to do is I'm going to define a new variable, a new state, that is news data, set to news data, an empty array. So next I'm going to use the set to news data here, and I'm going to pass the filter data into it. Next I'm going to do is I'm going to map through the news data here, news data.map. I'm going to take each as data, and here I'm going to give as. Before that, I'm going to change this news data into news comments, set to news comments, and I'm going to change this in the show comments function. I'm copy and paste this set to news comments here, and also I'm going to change this news data into news comments. Then after that, I'm going to give as data.comments, data.comments. Okay, fine. So next you can see that here is the comment that we have already given. So next I'm going to do is to pass this news comments state into the dependency array just like this way. So now you can see that I'm going to add a new comment, or I'm going to add one more comment. So here I'm going to do is to give the tag as like this way. It's three tag. So now you can see that, or I am going to give h4 tag, that is data.comments. So now you can see that the structure as like this way. Here is it is listed as like this way. The comments are listed. So next I'm going to give a class name for this div, that is padding. Okay, so now you can see that the structure is like this way. Okay, fine. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to show the name and the profile image. So for that, I'm going to use the image tag as like this way. So we have already passed the comments in the add comments function. So along with that, I'm going to pass the name. That is, the auth contains the property called current user, which contains the display name. And I'm going to pass the profile image as profile image. That means auth itself contains another property inside the current user. That is, auth.current user contains photo URL. So I'm going to pass that photo URL also. So now I am going to remove this collection from here. And next I am going to comment again or add comment. So before that I am going to sign in. So I'm going to click on the sign in button. At that time we will be signed in. And next I am going to add a comment. So at that time you can see that here is the comment. So next I am going to do is to give the source attribute, and inside the source attribute I am going to pass the data dot profile image. So now you can see that here is the profile image. Okay. So next I'm going to give the style such as class name rounded full. So at that time you can see that the structure is like this way. So next I'm going to reduce the size. So I'm going to give the width and the height also. So this is a structure of our profile image. So next I'm going to do is to give the div here. So inside this div, I'm going to put this image and a h4 tag, and here I'm going to give the class name that is flux. So this is a structure. Next I'm going to give a class name for this h4 tag, that is margin left. Okay. So next I'm going to do is to comment again. So at that time you can see that the new comments will be there. Okay, as like this way, one after the other. Okay. So next I'm going to do is to give the or show the name of the user. So for that I am going to use the h3 tag, and here I am going to give as data.name. So next I am going to put this h4 tag out of that div, and here I am going to give the class name that is margin left as like this way. So now you can see the structure as like this way. Here is for profile image, name, and the comments. So next I am going to do is I am going to give here the margin left for this comments. Okay, fine. So I'm going to give some style such as I'm going to change it as h6 tag, and I'm going to give the text small, and I'm going to give the color for the text that is slight as like this way, or I am going to change it into uppercase. Okay. So next here I am going to do is to give the h6 tag. Okay, fine. So next I am going to do is I'm going to add more and more comments. So I'm going to do is to copy this description and to paste it here as comments, and I'm going to click on add button. So now you can see that it is as like this way. Add again. At that time you can see that the gap is increasing. So I am going to give a class name to this div, and here I am going to give as height as like this way. So now you can see that the gap has gone. Now it is fine. So next I'm going to give a padding also along with the height. So this is the structure as of now. So next I'm going to give a style, that is font semi bold. Okay, fine. So this is the whole structure. So next I'm going to do is to give a condition here. That is in the add comments. I'm going to give as condition auth.current user and add dog function. So whenever the user is logged in, then only we can add the comments. So here I'm going to add a comment. At that time you can see that the comment is not adding to the database, or it is not showing here. So next I'm going to use the React Toxify for showing the warning to login. So I'm going to click on this first link npm, and I'm going to copy, that is npm I React Toastify. Then next I'm going to run this command in the new terminal. So now the React Toastify will be installed into our project. So now you can see that the React Toastify has been installed into our project. We can see that in the package.json as like this way. So next I'm going to do is, in the documentation you can see that here is an example. So I am going to copy this section from here and to paste it in our component as like this way. So next I am going to do is, in the example you can see that I'm going to use this toast container as like this way itself. So I'm going to paste it here in the bottom section of the component. And next I'm going to use the toast in the add comments. So here I am going to give the condition, that is auth.current user and the toast please login. Okay, so now you can see that I'm going to change it to equal to none. So now you can see that when I click the add button, it is showing the please login. So here you can see that in the documentation, they are showing the demo. So from there we can see that they are given a lots of props. So from here I'm going to select or copy this prop, that is auto close. So I'm going to paste it in the toast container component as like this way. And next I'm going to give the toast dot warning. So at that time you can see that it has changed the style of the warning, or style of the toast has been changed. I'm going to click on add button. So you can see that it is showing please login. So next I'm going to do is to reduces this auto close. Okay, fine. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to give this toast for the comments, adding comments. So after this add dog function, I'm going to use the toast dot success, and I'm going to give as comments added successfully. And I'm going to give here the auth.current user condition here also. Okay. I'm going to add the comments. So before that, I'm going to log in. So I'm going to click on sign in button. Then the user will be logged in. And you can see that I am going to add a comment to this news as like this way. At the time, you can see that it is showing the success message, comments added successfully. So we have done our project. Okay.